What do you think the ethical consequences are of you politicizing today as a day of anti-war protest and not a day of remembrance for the people who lost their lives this fateful day?
So, frankly, I think that we celebrate 9/11 wrong. I think that the idea that 9/11 ought to just be a sad day in which you remember that some people died in a tower somewhere, as a congresswoman from Minnesota might say, I think that is a grave error. It should be a reminder of the enemies that the United States faced on 9/11, continues to face today. We seem to have forgotten about all of those lessons, which is why I think that we're doomed to repeat similar instances. I don't tend to believe that acts of terror are equivalent to deaths by natural tragedy. I think that it's one thing to hold a commemoration for a natural tragedy. Something horrible happens in life, and we all mourn that horrible thing happening. I think that when you're talking about an act of war, which is what 9/11 was, or if you're talking about Pearl Harbor, or if you're talking about October 7th, the idea that you can treat that in the same way that you would, say, a day of remembrance for people who died from a flu pandemic, I think that is wrong-headed and foolish, because if you can't take away the lesson from October 7th or 9/11 or any other day in remembrance of the victims of terrorism, that terrorism is evil, that it ought to be fought, that those who believe in the ideology that forward it need to be defeated, then I think you're doing the memorial wrong.